Today I'm going to give you 5 exercises to get and keep your heels down so you can stay in balance with your horse. So let's get started. My name is Laura, Kelland-May, and welcome to another video. If you want to improve your riding, get more ribbons at your next horse show, or generally like other horsey related stuff, then subscribe to my channel, the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss anything. So I've been doing a lot of position reviews lately, and one of the big things that I've been concentrating on is keeping your heels down. Keep your heels down, keep your heels down, push the weight down in your heels. And that's the number one thing that judges look for in equitation class. So I thought, well, instead of just telling you to keep your heels down, to give you some concrete exercises that you can do when you're out riding in your next ride to help you get your heels down. The first thing you have to do before you start any of these exercises is to make sure that your saddle fits your horse and that you fit in your saddle. If you don't fit in your saddle, or if your saddle doesn't fit in your horse, you're always going to be fighting with your saddle. So make sure that your saddle fits your horse, and you can find out or get your saddle fitter to come and help you out with that, or get a knowledgeable person to come out to make sure that your saddle fits you properly and the saddle fits your horse properly. Why is it important? Why is it important to keep your heels down? Why is that so important? Why is there so much focus on keeping your heels down? Keeping your heels down keeps you on the horse, and that's a good thing, right? If your heels are up, that means that your weight isn't coming down into your stirrups and you're not in a secure and safe position. If your weight isn't down into your stirrups, you're less secure in the saddle, and that means if you're less secure in the saddle, that means you could pop off. And that's not a good thing. So how do you keep your heels down? That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you keep your heels down. Do you have trouble keeping your heels down? Put it in the comments below. I'd like to hear about it. And if you'd like to get your own position review, go up to that little eye icon right up there, and there's lots of position reviews. And if you want to get your own position review, send me an email. I'd like to hear about it. Put it in the comments below. Love to hear from you about position review. Keeping your heels down. Exercise number 1. Very simple exercise. Stand up in your stirrups in your 2-point position. Standing up in your 2-point position makes the weight come down into your stirrups, and when you do it properly, the weight comes down past your stirrups and into your ankles to keep the weight down into your stirrups and into your ankles so you don't pop off the horse. This simple 2-point position can be done at walk, trot, and canter. The second exercise is the 2-point position, but you can add a little bit of difficulty to it and go over the trot rails. You can see this person here going over trot rails, and the trot rails kind of amplifies the way the horse moves, and it forces you to put more weight down into your stirrups, otherwise you're not secure in the saddle. Very easy exercise for most people to do, but when you're just starting out, you have to practice and allow the weight to come down into your stirrups and into your heels. Very important that you don't balance yourself on the horse's mouth or drop and fall back into the saddle. Keep your weight centered over top of the saddle and into each stirrup over top of the center of the saddle so that you can stay in balance over top of the horse. Don't fall back in the saddle and don't fall forward. Find that you are falling back in the saddle, grab a hold of the mane or put a neck strap or martingale strap on the horse's neck so that you can keep yourself balanced over top of the horse rather than falling back and falling onto their back. And also, make sure that you are not using the reins to balance yourself. Don't fall back and grab onto the reins to keep yourself in balance. These exercises keep getting difficult, so exercise number 3 is to do your 2-point over poles, and very simply put one arm behind your back. If you put one arm behind your back, it offers you 2 things that you can do. One is you can put your palm of your hand on the flat of your back. So take your hand like this, place it on your lower back, and you can feel your back and help support your back. That's one thing that it does. The other thing that it does is it forces you to keep yourself supple, opens up your chest, and takes your reliance away from your reins and forces your body to think about where it is and let the weight come down into your ankles. Really simple exercise to do, providing you have good balance over top of your legs. If you're just new to doing your 2-point, keep practicing and keep a martingale strap or neck strap around your horse's neck so that you can hold on to that and not fall back on the horse's back or balance yourself on the horse's mouth. Again, we're getting more tricky and getting more difficult. The next exercise is to do your 2-point over a little gymnastic, but keep your hand behind your back. Keeping your hand back forces you to rebalance and keep the weight down into your feet. Also helps to open up your chest to keep the weight down into your legs. Another exercise that I like to do is to do something that I call the up, up, down. It's the up, up, down exercise where you stand in your stirrups like you're doing the rising part of the rising trot or your 2-point position for 2 strides and then sit in the saddle for 1 stride. So you go up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down. Really easy to do if you can stay over top of your leg. Not so easy to do if you're flopping around and out of balance. Standing up in your stirrups for 2 beats, down in the saddle for 1 beat helps you to get over top of your leg with the weight down into your stirrups and heels so that you can stay in balance with the horse. If you can't stay in balance with the horse, often what happens is that you fall back on the horse's back and balance yourself on the horse's reins, and that's no good. Keep over top of your horse's back, keep over top of your leg, up, up, down, and then once you have that mastered, you can go to the other way, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Just as easy to do if you can keep your weight over top of your leg, but not so easy to do if you can't. So keep practicing this. The final exercise, I call it jockey stirrups. And the jockey stirrups is when you take your stirrups and you shorten them up even shorter than your jumping length so that the stirrup irons hit about your mid shin. So halfway between your knee and your ankle. The correct stirrup length is the top of the stirrup tread should hit the bottom of your ankle bone. That's the correct stirrup length. But for this exercise, and it's just an exercise to help develop your lower leg and keep the weight down into your ankles, is to shorten your stirrups so they're between your knee and your ankle bone and ride that way. And we call that the jockey stirrup length. It's probably not even jockey stirrup length, but we call it jockey stirrup length because it's really short. And once you do this exercise, standing up in your stirrups as if you're in 2-point and walking and trotting around this way helps to keep the weight right down into your heels. So if you want to improve your riding, win more ribbons at your next horse show, or generally like other horsey related stuff, subscribe to this channel. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Thanks now. Bye-bye. My name is Laura.
You have to put your heels down because if you don't, you fall face first.